communication. Now, I get it. There are some struggles and some barriers and some obstacles to communication in family. But let me just say a word, first of all, those of you who are parents. Because I think sometimes as parents, we are our own worst enemy. One of the principles that we often forget as parents is this, that when you're a teenager, it's true even as a child, but it becomes even more true as you move into adolescence, that when you're a teenager, if an adult wants to talk with you, that's usually a bad sign. That's usually not going to go well. Like, remember when you were in high school and you're sitting in homeroom and somebody goes, "Please send Duffy Robbins to the office." What did everybody in homeroom do? Yeah, right? Because they know you're not being invited there because the principal's lonely. You have violated, some sanction. And so part of the problem here is we have so programmed our kids, we only speak to them to correct them. We only speak to them when they've done something. Even my own children. Used to just crack me up and say, "Hey, Aaron and Katie, come downstairs." You know what they'd say? "Are we in trouble? Do we do something wrong?" Like, we don't allow them on the ground floor except for torture. Come on down. Your mom's got the machete. Be brave. Builds character. They're just this vibe. And I think part of it is and frankly, it's a malady of being a parent, is that you want everything to be a teachable moment. And the harder we try, the more we fail. It's like trying really hard to go to sleep. When you really, really try to make sure that every moment is a teachable moment, you pretty much shut down the communication process that is required for good teaching. It's like a dad told me not too long ago. He said, "I don't know what happened to me. When my son became a teacher, I used to be able to talk to him. Now, every time we get together, it's all I can do not to try to teach." He said the other day we were in the car, and my son goes, "Dad, just ask him, when did they first start paving roads?" He said, "It was all I could do not to say, son, the road to hell is paved. Good. It's just what happened." I think that one of the best things I did as a parent, was I would take my daughters to breakfast every other week. And I started that when they were little girls. But I did that all the way through high school. One girl one week, one girl the next week. And of course, when they were little girls, they loved this. They thought this was awesome. We go to McDonald's. Oh my gosh. And food wrapped in paper. And they just thought that was amazing. And then by the time they got into high school, they're going, "Dad, if we're going to have to get up early, like we're going to eat at the Marriott and do the buffet." And they go, "Dad, how come you're not eating, sweetheart? We can't both afford to have breakfast. You enjoy your pork and your fruit." But here's what a lot of parents don't understand. It's not like every single one of those breakfasts was this really intense, teachable communication. "Honey, pass the orange juice. Let's talk about fornication." If you do that, basically when your child becomes an adult and somebody mentions bacon, they're going to have a nervous tick. And so it's not about making every single breakfast a serious deal. The whole point is this: I had 10 breakfasts so that in the 11th breakfast we could have a conversation we really needed to have. Most adults, they only want to have the 11th conversation. And it won't work.